What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Saga of Dice podcast with my buddy Carson here. We have had 30 seconds to talk before this whole thing started. So yeah, I mean, hey, we're here.
It's been a busy week. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
it's busy time in general, but
for me too. I have Tuesdays are always brutal, but like, yeah, I had eye doctor appointments for family members and all sorts of stuff today. So what up, Bobby? Welcome. Bobby is your friend, isn't he? I met Bobby.
Yes.
Nice.
Yep. I think you've asked that like 3 times now.
Is it always like, wait, well, I know more than one Bobby, okay? I am also of the Robert persuasion, I'll have you know. And bit quiet, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know why, because I have changed absolutely nothing. Here, actually, good day. Thank you. Thank you. Is that better, horrible? Let me know. I appreciate it. It looks like it's still quiet, but I haven't changed, anything. Friend of Carson, dog wrangler. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, my dog is an animal and a giant pain, but he is clean. I just gave him a bath. So now everyone,
Nice.
yeah. Let me know how the sound is, guys. Carson, can you say something?
Saying something.
Okay.
I'm saying something.
Okay. Thank you. Nice. Anyway, so we've got a fun show tonight. We've got some. He is a very sweet dog. My dog is extremely sweet and too big and too strong for everyone else's own good. Giving him a bath was a nightmare, but I'm glad it's over. So, anyway,
I had to give you hugs while he was in the bath.
Oh, man. Well, I did it outside because it's a little bit easier on my back, and he likes it. It's a little more chill for him. He kind of panics in the bath because he's too big, I guess, and yeah, he really doesn't like it. So, my dog is neurotic as well. So we've got a rumor engine. Did you get a chance to see this, Carson?
I did, yeah. Very clearly 40K. It looks like there's a grenade surrounding a bunch of grenades surrounding like a belly button.
I was going to say a pie. Sometimes,
and then perhaps fat rolls in the background, and some lovely throw pillows on the right. So not sure what this scene is.
It's a Slaneshi bunker, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah, like that still looks like a pie to me. The middle one. It's got like a little hole where
I could see that. Yeah.
Where they poke like the whatever it is to let it out.
Yeah.
I guess
in all seriousness, it's probably either terrain or Imperial Guard or something like.
Right.
Or sorry, Astra Militarum.
Oh, yeah, Imperial Guard. Turkey in the back. Is there a turkey in the back?
Oh, that might actually be a turkey. He's right. You
What?
can kind of see like like right above the grenades, you can see like this big mass, and the big part, like the body of the turkey, and then that actually
What?
probably is a turkey. I think
And
he's
then,
right.
then that probably is a pie.
Yeah.
So it's like some
So
kind
what
of
could they-
Thanksgiving like terrain piece or model. Have they ever done anything with Thanksgiving before? That's
I don't know.
crazy.
It would be weird for them to. It's a UK company.
For sure. But they do other stuff like if you think about it, Blood Bowl is like American football, which is kind of a strange choice. Especially with the movie Bedknobs and Broomsticks out there, But very, very old reference. It's before my time. Holiday rations care package next to a bunker. Yeah, that's so strange. Oh, and then in the front, is that like a martini shaker? Maybe not. Maybe I'm grasping at straws.
I think it's just a bottle, but still.
40K Christmas preview. Actually, that's true. They do like Christmas gooses and stuff in the UK, don't they? Yeah. I mean, I think that's a pie, man. Yo, beefy Ladiv, Ladivicus. There we go.
Lodovicus.
Um,
Lodivicus.
Lodivicus. Yeah, it's a martini shaker, right? I'm not an expert in this stuff, but um, anyway, I mean, it's a 40K thing. Like, we could just say, oh, it's a dumb 40K thing and move on, but it's kind of fun. Like, actually, you know what was crazy is like I almost thought like, yeah, it's I almost kind of did that to a certain extent. Like, it's a dumb 40K thing. I'm so glad that you guys caught the turkey or goose or whatever. Um, yeah, I just paused long enough to be like, that really? Because like the thing is like at first when I looked at it from a distance, I was thinking it's like the top to like some kind of like fuel container or whatever. But then I was like, the outside is so uneven. Anyway, could be a white dwarf model. Yeah, it might be because there is the Christmas. Remember the no, not the orc, the goblin, riding like a little like Rudolph squig. They've done a bunch of weird stuff. They've done like birthday cake, Grombrindle in the past, and yeah, lots of crazy stuff. So yeah, I like it. So there's a lot of different stuff to show. I guess we can move on from there, right? Cool.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Okay. So most of it's pretty crazy. The first one and kind of the more interesting stuff is like they were like kind of showing some of these Path to Glory rules. Like, so before you could only get them in if you owned the core rulebook for Age of Sigmar, but now they're giving them away and they're also like adding stuff, which is cool and all, but like, I don't know. I liked the original Path to Glory even as much as it had like a bunch of faults that we sort of corrected. But the newer ones I think are getting kind of more further away from what I want to see out of Path to Glory. Something that Carson and I are working on making ourselves, and I do like sort of thematic rules, but like this roll 2d6 and then you get like these crazy effects, right? So 1 through 3, nothing happens, which is what you kind of pray for. 4, subtract 1 from the bravery characteristic for friendly units while they are more than 3 inches from other friendly units. That's not the end of the world, but it's a bigger deal if you already have low bravery. Subtract 1 from casting and chanting rolls. Like, that's crazy, especially chanting. Like, that's a big deal if you're doing a prayer. Miasma of Misery, range of missile weapons, like limited to 18 inches. Like, it starts to get kind of crazy, and I don't know, like, I feel like anytime where you're rolling a couple of dice and like one faction is potentially just auto winning, it's probably not a good idea, you know. Call me old fashioned, but yeah, and then the 7+ is you can't be inspiringly presenced. Yep, nailed it.
That's some words right there.
Those were words. So yeah, I'm not, but like it's cool that they're out there. They're putting them out there for free. I do like that. So that's nice. Wasn't there some sandbag thing recently on RE? Resident Evil is what I think of when I see that. So, or Biohazard if you're from Japan. Could be the whole. Yeah, or a new Ogren. yeah. That's actually a great idea. Is an ogre. I didn't think about that. That's a good call. Birthday cake was in Space Marine armor. Oh, okay. There's also an old one, Beefy, that had like Grombrindle, with this big like 30th or 25th anniversary birthday cake. It came out like in the early aughts, I want to say, like 2013, I think. So we are talking leaked rules for the what's it called, the Harbingers and all that jazz tonight. But I just wanted to cover this because they put it out for free, right? The Divicus says it would be a shame if they moved on before finishing the band for Christmas, though. Yeah, absolutely. So, anyway, I just thought I'd highlight this. Like I try to like bring people's attention to some of the cool stuff that they do. But yeah. So then we've got the Sunday preview was the Harbingers and the first Dawnbringer book. So that will be out in 2 weeks from last Saturday. I can look that up if people don't know how to use a calendar. It's totally cool. But it's cool, you know. I definitely like the I don't normally say this, but I really like the cover for the limited edition more, just because you can see way more. Like they made this one into a map, whereas this one actually has the actual background. Looks a lot cooler. But yeah. So then the General's Handbook as well. Which I'm really excited for. They did mention that it's going to be for a full year, and it will be coming out on what, the 8th?
Yeah, that's right, the 8th.
So
already pre-ordered mine.
Same.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I pre-ordered mine as soon as I saw this in the morning, and then they emailed me back and they're like, "We already have the GHB," and I was like, "Not the one you have." Yeah.
Yeah. When I emailed, I very specifically was like the most recently announced GHB.
Yeah.
Pitched battles 2023-24. Like
that's
no
what
possible way.
That's what I did in the end. Like,
oh, really?
Well, I'm not. After they emailed me back and they're like, "We already have one. You can pick it up anytime," and I was just like, "No, not that one." And then I linked the article, sent a big picture, put in pitch battles 2023-24. So yeah, you got to be ahead, because like, I mean, I don't think they're gonna sell out like they did that one time, you know. But they just didn't get any. Like they got like 8 copies or something. So it just doesn't seem like that's the issue anymore now that we're mostly out of the Rona. But yeah, and then we're also getting these Regiments of Renown, the super pack of babies with axes, and then the Gloomspite gets one, the Flesh Eater Courts one here, and the Nurgle one. The more I look at it, the more I like the Nurgle one. I really like this one. I think this one's actually like a good kind of deal.
It is pretty cool, yeah. It definitely seems like they're not just dumping like the cheapest battle line on you that they can. Like there's a lot of interesting models in there, and I think that what's nice about this is I feel like you could get a Vanguard box,
yeah,
and then you could get this, and it would be like a really good start to an army, and you'd have a lot of variation.
Absolutely, and you get the new model. You know, whether you want that or not is up to you. Thanks for joining us, Bobby. Appreciate it. I might have missed you. Sorry, it's hard to read and stuff at the same time. Where are you guys located to only get 8 copies? Well, so we go through a local store that's really, really good to us, called Magic Stronghold. And they have like the best copy or the best selection of hobby supplies. Like, I'm not just saying this, like maybe of anywhere in the world. Like I'd never seen anything online or anywhere that has everything from Pro Acryl to Artis Opus, you know what I mean, to Green Stuff World. Like it's crazy what they have. Like they literally have stuff that I've never heard of. And then I went in there and I was like, "Hey, can you order some of this for me?" And they're like, "We already have it. It's right here. It's behind the glass." And I was just like, "What?" It was called Dirty Down Rust. But anyway, it's wild, man. But so and they do offer a discount, and some of the stores that offer a really good discount, they tend to, sometimes GW likes to F them over, because, you know, it's to sort of discourage stores from giving a discount, which is really unfortunate, but it is what it is. So we still support them. We still love them. Horrible says, "I'm going to see if I can get away with not buying one again this season." I'm assuming you mean the GHB. Yeah, I totally understand that. I mean, you know, with Wahapi and everything. The one thing I will say though is this will be a GHB for a year. This is going to be for a whole year. So, and it, you know, it's what we've sort of seen so far. It looks pretty cool. You know, so, but anyway,
I actually had the same sentiment where I'm pretty sure I directly told you, Rob, and another friend of ours. Well, before we played a game, I was like, "This is the last GHB I'm going to buy for a little while, probably just because every 6 months paying like it's like 65, $70 or something crazy. It's like
Yeah.
no. So, but every year is twice as palatable.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so
I mean,
I decided to just bite the bullet and do it.
I like that they do GHBs. I like, you know what I mean? That like it, because otherwise things would get stale. And
Of course, yeah.
yeah, and so the only one that I was ever sad that I bought was the Bounty Hunters one. Like, not too long into that, I was like, oh, this is not what I was hoping for. You know, I think I'm still quiet, right, guys? I'm gonna adjust my sound and maybe. So, do you think this? I was gonna ask earlier, and I didn't mean to interrupt. If I did, do you think that this Nurgle set is the best out of any of them, or? I'll be right back.
Beefy Crunch is saying you're good. But I don't I don't know if I'd call it the best. I'm kind of torn between this one and the Gits one. I think that again, if someone wanted to start Gits, that's an extremely good way to start. Like Gabapalooza is a must-have at the moment. You're gonna want like bounders and or hoppers, squigs, I think, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's a squig herd, which are quite good right now.
yeah,
It's Gobapalooza, which I think is the best unit in the book. If I had to pick one, a either one unit of hoppers or 2 unit of Boingrot's bounders.
yep.
Yeah, it's really good in that regard,
Yeah.
for sure.
So I would say they're about tied in my mind, probably.
I could see that. And I guess I won't spoil like my thoughts on the new Warscrolls, I guess, but that does play into it a little bit. Although, anyway, we'll I'll move on from there. And then there's going to be a preview. It says Saturday, but it's like 2 p.m. in the UK, and it's the Not Warhammer 40,000 preview, which is so cool. I don't think they've ever done this before. Like, I don't remember them ever doing like they did like, I remember one time it was like, this stream is going to be all like AOS and Warcry and stuff, and then this next stream is going to be all 40k, or I don't remember what order they did it in, but I love this idea because like they're getting it, they've got a brand new edition, so it's like, hey, like we remember you guys exist.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it definitely feels them being like, "Hey, AOS players, are you sick and tired of hearing all the 40k news?
yeah.
This preview is gonna have none of that." And you're just like, "Oh boy."
Exactly. I mean, what's funny is like, I do. We both like both games as a general rule. Yo, James, thanks for joining us, man. Robin, hello. But like, I'm not, like I'm very much enjoying AOS right now, and I'm kind of where you were, where I'm just kind of like, I'm good with AOS. Like I don't, I've always played 40k since 8th edition came out, but I'm good now. I appreciate that, Robin. Yeah, I mean, if you guys have time, if you wouldn't mind just sliding the mouse over and hitting the like button, it does help out the channel. I don't normally say that during the stream, but I guess I probably should. Like, everyone else does it. But anyway, if you don't want, or hit the dislike, If you don't want to be told to like something, just hit the dislike. I'll know what it means. Or I'll
Well,
think
they
you
got rid
hate
of the
me.
dislike counter, so you can't see what it means anymore.
You can.
Can you?
You need an extension. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I can see it. Like the channel owners can see it though. So, but it doesn't really.
You're modifying your browser just to see who dislikes you.
Not to see who, but to see how many people
Right.
disliked a video that you don't own the channel of. Because like you can always see. You've always been able to see. There's no extensions needed. I don't have the extension, but it is. I do like sometimes I listen to like people reviewing stuff or talking about stuff, and they talk about stuff like getting ratioed or whatever it's called. Yeah, so that's how I knew about it. You're having a dark day. Oh, you're selling a bunch of stuff. That's sorry to hear that, Robin. Oh, well, hopefully we can, you know, you can't see who dislikes it. Horrible. So feel free to dislike it. Okay. I cannot tell who. It with an extension, you can see how many. There's no like tracker on that. Yeah. You just need noise that's not in your head. Hey, well, I am good at making noise. I mean, all my friends.
Well, Rob's best at, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's true. Yeah. And silent but deadly. Yeah. That's not true either, actually. Anyway, but I am looking forward to it. I am hoping, like, I don't know. I'm supposed to do like a practice game with James. 2 p.m. will be like what? Like, is that 6 p.m. here?
Oh, for the preview?
Yeah.
2 p.m. in what time zone?
Oh, no, that'd be 2 p.m. That's right. Never mind. So it'd be 2 p.m. So I think it would be like 6 a.m.
What's the time zone?
I believe it's the Greenwich Mean Time or whatever they call it, the British time.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
5 a.m. then, probably. I think. Here.
British 2 p.m.
Wake up and...
I think they're 8 hours ahead, so I think it'd be 6 a.m. here.
Oh, okay.
I could be
Gotcha.
wrong. But I could be wrong because I don't remember if you guys do what's it called? It is 6 a.m. Okay, because I don't remember if they do what's it called, daylight savings or not. I don't think they do, but I don't remember. I don't know. I give up. It's all good. I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. I'm not getting up at 6 a.m. Sorry, everyone. I will see the news when I get up. And God willing, it will be later than 8 a.m. But anyway, yes. So let's see here. Did I miss anything else? So how many things of Warcry are we going to see? Beefy says. That's a great question. I don't know. I mean, I hope that we see some new stuff for Warcry, like a new warband. There was some kind of roadmap before that I think that they showed, and we kind of have an idea of what factions, but I just have not had the spare time at all. What up, Keith? We're talking about the new Harbinger stuff tonight, and then we talked about the rumor engine, which looks like some kind of Thanksgiving 40K thing. The roadmaps they existed, right, Beefy? Actually, Carson, could you see if you could find that?
Yeah,
Thank you.
on it.
Appreciate it. I'm worried I'm going to close something inopportune. Okay, and then, but yeah, so it looks like we're going to get the old world. We're going to get Warcry Heresy. I don't really care super much about, and Warhammer Underworlds for me is mostly about proxy models. Warcry always surprises us. It's so true. Oh, is that you, Carson?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
2 separate links. First one's Warcry. Second one is Underworlds.
Sick. Awesome. Would you like to sort of what do you think?
As in like a guess as to what the previous going to be, or just
why don't we
reading
start with Underworlds?
Start with Underworlds. Okay.
Yeah. Oh wow! Oh, you just pulled up the screen. Thank you. That's lovely.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
So so spring is already done.
Yes.
Right.
And those were awesome, by the way. Like, I'm not even really into Stormcast, but they were pretty cool with like the sort of cloaked hoodie head. And the Zeech one is like one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah. So we could pretty much already see exactly what they're going to be showing off.
Right.
Headman's Curse. Oh no, they already showed that. Updated starter set and new Rivals deck.
Right. That's true. So then,
there's no question marks on this roadmap. They just tell you exactly what.
Well, there is. It says new Chaos Warband. So
that's
Chaos
true. Oh
Warband.
Yeah, that's right.
New core box with 2 new warbands, but there's I don't see any symbols here. And then it says new Destruction Warband. And I don't care about. No one cares about Rivals deck. Well, maybe someone does. Actually, I know people who do. Let me just back that up like several steps. I mean, I don't. I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't play the game. I just like the models and their proxies and sometimes their rules in AOS. But so, okay, I know we kind of do a lot of this, but like, what would be a cool what kind of warband do you want to see for Chaos? Now we know it's not going to be Zeech because we just got one for Zeech, right? So Slaves Bellicor warband, ooh, I like that idea.
That'd be interesting.
Like a demon based one.
Warband? Or there is, yeah. So, I can't remember her name.
James says Nurgle. Oh right, yeah, the Dark Oath. Yeah, she's cool. It's a slave symbol. Isn't that just the Chaos symbol?
I think so. Yeah, Chaos Star.
I think that's just a Chaos Star. Oh, but I think maybe he means in that it's like shaped a certain way. Oh, he might be right. I don't know. I don't. You play slaves. I don't. Is that like their logo?
It is. Yeah, they just have a Chaos Star. They just have a Chaos Star as their logo, though. So
that's true.
It's kind of.
But like sometimes the Chaos Star is like very not symmetrical. So
yeah,
maybe Nurgle frogs would be so freaking awesome, James. I hope you're right.
Let me go check.
Carson's going to check. It's following you. Your camera followed you. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. Nurgle frogs is what I now hope for. Hello, quest giver.
Greetings.
So disturbing.
So what it shows on the, I'm gonna go based on what it shows on like the back of the battle tome.
Okay.
And that's.
Nope.
Can you?
Nope.
You can kind of see that there, right?
So that's like a skull with a thing around it?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if I'm being honest, I do hope that it's like now that James has said Nurgle frogs, that's what I hope for. Right? Like Nurgle frogs I used to be a thing if I remember right, like in the fantasy days. So oh man. Yeah. Almost makes me want to get into Nurgle. Actually, I kind of want to get into Nurgle, which is weird. Okay, so then new core box. They didn't give us any kind of symbols, right? You should keep an eye on the camera and try to zoom in on your butt as you walked up. Yeah, like some dodgy cameraman. It's my kind of cameraman. We needed the dun 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 to happen right then. Oh man, I mean Carson is a dodgy cameraman, so it all.
That's right.
It all works. Okay, so new core box. Let's just for fun have a fun guess. What's in the new core box?
Okay. Honestly, I have no clue whatsoever, so I'm just gonna guess completely wildly.
Okay.
Skaven?
Ooh.
I'm already not feeling confident about this.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either because they were in the last one, weren't they? Against Stars?
I'm sticking to my guns. Skaven?
Yeah.
And Stormcast, I guess? I don't know.
Okay. Hey, yo, Darren, what's up, man? So I think I'm going to guess something death. Or actually, you know what? We've got Night Haunt there, and we just had FEC, or was that a Warcry set?
Warcry.
That was Warcry. Okay. Let's say I'm gonna guess another Soulblight one, just because I don't know what I'm feeling death, and then I'm going to say another. I'm gonna say another. I mean, this is totally wishful thinking, but a Deepkin one, another Deepkin one. Yeah. Did any armies not have an Underworlds crew as of yet? I think everyone has one. That's a great question. Should I pull up the Games Workshop website?
Some of them aren't sold anymore, right? I thought.
That's true, but they've all had them at one point or another. like, I know that the Sylvaneth one was like a Kurnothi thing, but I think they've had. Oh yeah, they had the. Wait, no, I might be thinking. Actually, I'm thinking of another Nighthaunt one. I don't remember a I'm gonna actually. You know, I'm gonna switch it back to Sylvaneth because I don't even. I only remember the Kurnothi one. Rebox the kill team to BOC. God. Oh, cities. That's a good call. That's an interesting idea. I think they're gonna. Oh, you know what though? Actually, I think that's a really good call because they have, on multiple occasions beforehand, done a warband first. Sons of Ben had to have it. You got us there. What if it's like some kind of like they make up some kind of giants adjacent, you know, baby giant or something, some kind of rock booger. I don't know.
It's just a foot.
That would be awesome. Okay, and then a new destruction one. I'm gonna say Cruel Boys. It's been a while. I don't know. Sons versus daughters would be great. That took me a second. I was like, well, I don't know. You know, we joke, but anyway. So, okay, and then I'm going to try and pull up the other thing you sent me, the Warcry one. I love it when they do these roadmaps, though. It's so cool. Okay. I can't. There it is. Okay. Roadmap. Boop. There we go. So, Nightmare Quest, Flesh Eater Courts versus Stormcast. We know what that is. And I don't know if it's out yet or not. I think it's out.
It might be.
I think so, because I think I remember people using the terrain. And then it looks like there's going to be a new starter set, which is kind of cool. There's no symbols there, unfortunately, so everyone's guess is as good as other people's guesses. And then we've got Order versus Destruction, 4 new warbands. Wait, 4 new warbands, and they're all like, is it Order versus Destruction, or what does that mean?
I guess so.
And then 2 new warbands, Order versus Death. And then 2 new warbands in the spring. That's cool. You know? I'm guessing that the summer one will probably be Destruction versus Death, maybe? Or I don't think it'll be Order, because if we're getting 6 of them. Anyway, whatever. It's fun to speculate. I mean, you know what's funny though is like the 2 that are coming in the spring, they put question mark, but it's like like telling us the faction doesn't tell us anything really. And then the starter set doesn't have anything, but anyway, that was fun. Yeah. Okay. Sons of Behemat, Underworld's Warband, some copyrightable name that is adjacent to Dance Dance Revolution. Hey. That sounds cool. Okay. On to the topic du jour. The main course, Carson. So these Warscrolls leaked, or pages from the book leaked, the Harbinger book.
Yep.
So I think because they are already broken up into the Regiments of Renown, with their respective leaders, why don't we do the leader and then the Regiment of Renown rather? Does that work for you?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So Grimhold Exile. I don't remember if they said his name or not before. 4-inch move, 9 bravery, 6 wounds, 4 up safe. Oops, kind of zoomed in an awkward way. Still zoomed in an awkward way. Boop, there we go. So, Last of the Lodge Fire. Once per battle, when you pick this unit to fight, instead of piling in and attacking with it, you can say that it will unleash the Last of the Lodge Fire. If you do so, pick one enemy unit within 1 inch of this unit and roll a number of dice equal to the wounds characteristic of that enemy unit. For each 4+, that enemy unit suffers a mortal wound. So against giants, this is kind of crazy, right? It does say when you pick this unit to fight, so it almost behooves you. Yeah, yeah. Mega Gargants like fire, or maybe don't like fire. Yeah, James, it went up on Reddit and a bunch of places. So, yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. So, yeah, and then it's got another ability, or actually, I guess I should say 1-inch attack, 5 attacks, 3s and 3s, -2, 2 damage. That's a really good profile considering, like, most heroes are usually -1 damage, or -1 rend, 2 damage. So that's kind of exciting. And then once per battle in your hero phase, this unit can raise this battle cry. If it does so, friendly Fire Slayer units that do not have a mount and are wholly within 6 inches of this unit, when it raises the battle cry, are inspired until the end of the turn. Inspired units can run and still charge later in the turn. And then last and sort of least is while this unit is within 3 inches of another friendly unit that has 3 or more models, it has a ward of 4+. That's actually not least at all. I shouldn't have said it like that. That's really good, you know, because you're obviously running him in like a big pack of naked babies. So, like, what do you think of the Grimhold Exile?
I'm just quickly rereading the last Lodgefire thing, just because I went and found the pictures for my own viewing at home.
It's a lot easier than looking at it on the screen. Like, I put it up there for everyone, but I read it out because I know it's hard to read. Also, I should say he's 140 points.
Gotcha.
Whoops.
Yeah, his ability is really good. Like, he's a monster killer for sure.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like on average, just having it's not even remaining wounds, it's just total wounds. So if he looks at something that's already half dead, like on average he just kills it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Wait,
and then
I see what you're saying. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And then for other things, like if he just walks up to Croak, I'm pretty sure he can like basically guarantee Croak's death. Can he not?
If he does not have, so he has a wound characteristic. No. I mean, it's
not guarantee, but on average, like
more likely that he dies. Yeah, just from and it is instead of attacking.
That's true.
You can say it will unleash if you one enemy unit. Okay, so it's not limited to monsters, so it would totally work on Croak, and or anything really like a zombie dragon. You know what I mean? It's just like here's
anything with lots of wounds.
Here's 8 mortal wounds on average. Or if you get lucky, you can spike, and then it's
now it is one battle, which is not as good, I guess, but it's still really
for 140 points, like he's got a few different points of utility. Alex says he's a very I think you mean meh, because you're in this country, sir. But James asks if anyone has leaked the new points for the GHB. No, not that we have seen. We just got this today, luckily for us, because we're doing a podcast and it was just going to be a hangout if we didn't get all this cool info. Does a movement 4 dwarf get into combat with Croak? He's got us there. And probably gets zapped off the table before he gets there. But,
very true.
But
I guess there's a couple things that's limiting this for sure. Like the 2 huge abilities for this character are once per game things, which is pretty.
That's a great point. He does have a ward save of 4 up though, so like honestly, Croak, just as likely doesn't kill him, unless you've got other factors going on, of course. Living Legacy says 4+ to friendly. Yeah, 4+ ward. I think you mean. He's going to be a good ally. Yeah, because, I see what you're saying. Yeah. It's just friendly unit. It doesn't have to be a Fire Slayer unit because it's meant for Regiment of Renown use. So, yeah. That's a good point.
Also, it doesn't give a 4+ ward to anybody. It gets a 4+ ward if it's next to...
Yeah, that would be crazy. That would be insane. Yeah. Yeah, he can't give it to Marathi. He can just get it himself. And also it has to be 3 or more models that he's standing next to. But yeah, it's blurry. I'm sorry. I'll send you the links later, James, if that's cool. What was it talking about?
So I think we've covered the
right.
hero itself. Maybe let's go to the regiment.
Okay. Yep. Anyway. So, Alex says just what Fire Slayers needed, another small hero. I mean, he's right. You know, like now you can form like an entire unit of small heroes. So it's fantastic. You're still limited to 6 per 2,000 points, but hey, you know. Okay, so we know what it contains. It's the Grimhold Exile, 1 Auric Hearthguard unit with 5 models, 1 Berserker unit with 5 models, 1 Volkite Berserker unit with 10 models. Can anyone tell the difference between them besides Alex? Because, yeah, I cannot tell you. Are they the same kit, by the way, Alex? That's what I don't know. Not if he isn't a leader. Oh, he could be a hero. That's true. Okay. Enemy monsters within 3 inches of any units in this Regiment of Renown cannot contest objectives. That's crazy. That's really good. And by the way, Fire Slayers cannot take this Regiment of Renown, but everyone else in order can. Which is stupid. But it is what it is. I think they should just not get like a lodge keyword. Like you shouldn't just get a sub-faction and problem solved, to me at least. Anyway, units in this Regiment of Renown cannot be picked when your opponent carries out a monstrous rampage. That's really good. Because like it's, you just, you know, like Stomp is so powerful. You know what I mean? Like there's so many amazing monstrous actions. Now, I don't think this would stop like the Ogres one from doing like the beep 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 thing, because you're not interacting with it, right? Like you're not picking
I wonder
them.
if it would just prevent them from, like, certainly you wouldn't be able to prevent the monstrous rampage from happening.
Yeah,
but
I don't.
Maybe you'd be immune to the wounds.
Why?
As a result,
you're not picking them. It just says any units that it goes
that's true.
over.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but like Roar, Stomp, you know, that kind of thing. This Regiment of Renown is just how to upset your friends who play Sons of Bahamut. Yeah. Yeah. Or like any kind of monster heavy thing. Yeah, exactly. Same with the turtle. Exactly. It doesn't stop the ogres one because it doesn't target them. Yep. Indeed. Indeed. So the points on this are, I think I saw it, 540 points. Mother of God. That's a lot. But I think they're really quality. Yeah. I think they're quality units, and like I think some of them have like a 4-up ward as already. The other, I think it's on their war scroll. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alex. But that's, it's a lot of wounds. It's hard to hack through. Yeah. He's got the non-airship riding stubby legs. Yeah, he doesn't. He's got no carabiner or whatever to hook onto them. Hook onto a balloon. Your mega can't hold objectives or rampage me. Also, it's on fire. Yeah, I like that. Do if near a hero. Okay, and he is a hero. So right there on his, I almost called it a data sheet. Sheet. Bad, Rob. Bad. Yeah. So pretty good. Hearthguard Berserker. Okay. Well, there's only 5 of them in there, I suppose, but yeah. Anyway, pretty cool. Okay, that's good to know. I mean, I guess they're quality units, though. Alex, maybe you could tell us, because like the other regiments of Renown were all like really good for their points, or not all of them. I shouldn't say that. I think the Cruel Boys one was good for its points, and the what was the other one? The Zeech one seemed good for its points. Although you can't split and split again, but still. Okay, Ron, well, I hope things go better for you, man. Feel free to come back if we're still on here. Have a good night. Okay, should we move on to the next one? Okay.
Let's do it.
The Rabble Rouser. Great name. 5-inch move, 5 wounds, 4-up save. So he's got a much better save than the guy with the armor, as Dale pointed out. 5 bravery, par for the course. And 5 attacks, 3s and 3s, -1, ran D3 damage. Pretty good for a silly little goblin on foot.
Yeah, you can slap.
Yeah. Mushroom stuffed bat squigs. Once per battle in your shooting phase, you can say that this unit will deploy its bat squigs. If you do so, pick 3 different enemy units within 12 inches. Each of those enemy units suffers D3 mortal wounds. This is a big meh for me because it's once per battle. It's in the shooting phase. It's 12 inches and it's just D3. It's like, I don't know. Like, I would never take this unit for this purpose. Actually, I'll pull up its points too so we can discuss it in context. I think it's like 140. That's no 150. Nope. Is it 100? 100 on the nose. Okay. I'm glad I pulled it up. So 100 points on the nose. Blah, 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 blah. Squig Skull Armor. This unit has a 4-up ward while it's more than 6 inches from all enemy units. That's not nearly as good as the Fire Slayer one, which you can control so much better. So basically it's just immune to shooting, unless it's super close-up shooting. Yeah. Get going, you gets. While any friendly units with this ability are on the battlefield, when you pick a friendly monster to move in the movement phase, you can say that it is goated until the end of the turn. While a friendly monster is goated, it can run and still charge later in the turn. However, a goated unit must finish any kind of move, except pile-in moves, closer to a unit with this ability than it was when it started the move. In addition, each time a goated unit finishes a move, this is so fuzzy, each friendly unit with this ability within 3 inches of that unit, I think it says suffers D6 mortal wounds, roll separately for each. Is that what it looks like to you? Sorry guys, it's so faded. It looks like someone like started erasing it with an eraser. So this is definitely like the main sort of thing you get, you know.
Basically, run and charge with your monsters, with the caveat that whenever you move, you have to
finish closer to the closest enemy unit.
When you pick up it. Huh. So it is optional though, which is kind of nice. Like you don't have to participate in this. You have to decide at the start of the movement phase, but or no, you have to decide when that monster moves if you want to continue to do that.
Thanks, Beefy. Thanks for joining us. It said that the Rabble's best use it gets is to Gork behind enemy lines and let Kragnos set up his turn 1 charge. You're not wrong. I also don't think it... Well, what's funny is I don't really think that it's great on Gits because, like, your squigs can already run and charge if they're in the light of the bad moon. And there's so many ways of doing that, you know... It's better on trolls, to be honest. Oh, wait, it doesn't work on any of them, actually. It's monsters, right. So, yeah, maybe you could make your... troll Trog boss if he has the Alpha Trog command trait only, but other than that it's just squigs and they're already flying up the field. I don't think this is great for Gets, but it's a cool looking model, of course, but I as you say, I think it's going to be much better for like ogres. Kragnos is the sort of thing that everyone latched onto in our chat as well. It's and Sons. That's a great one. That's a good call. Sons of Behemoth is actually a really good call, and you could use them. They're actually really good in Sons of Behemoth in particular because you don't really have any chaff, so you can kind of set up the squig herd and different things as chaff. That's a great idea. Spiders already have a run and charge. It's true. And if you're running spiders anyway, you're not playing, to win, right? Trust me, I know. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Like, he's only 100 points, so like, as part of a regiment of renown, I think he's okay. Um,
Yeah,
but
I don't think we're gonna see him in Gits
no,
at all.
no, I agree. Unless you're running like all Arachnaroks and you want to be able to do that multiple times. But like I said, like who needs them? You know, are these hero units a mandatory part of the regiment of renown? They are. So the regiment of renown is one price or 1 points cost, I should say. It's also a price. So you get in this cost here, like if you look at it's 540, and then you still get. Dang it! I clicked in the wrong spot. This is harder than I thought it was going to be. Did I get it? Okay. So see how the Grimhold Exile is 140 points, but then if you look down here, 540 points for everything, including the Grimhold Exile. So you have the option to do either. You cannot take a regiment of renown in the army that it belongs to. Again, it's stupid, but it is what it is. So yeah. But yeah, so he's 100 points on his own, and then we'll look at the regiment of renown right now. Well, we already know what's in there, so I'll zoom in on this. Would you mind reading this out, Carson? I really need a glass of water.
Yeah, no worries. So this has 2 abilities. The first one is Major Irritant. If a unit in this Regiment of Renown receives the redeploy command, any other friendly units in this Regiment of Renown within 6 inches of that unit can immediately make a d6-inch move, but they must finish that move more than 3 inches from all enemy units and cannot shoot later in the turn. So basically, anytime you give any of the units in this Regiment of Renown redeploy, they all get it if they're within 6 inches of each other. Not wholly within, just within 6 inches. The second ability is Secret Tunnels, which is instead of setting up the units of this Regiment Renown on the battlefield, you can place them to one side and say they're navigating secret tunnels. If you do so at the start of your first hero phase, you can set up all of these units wholly within 6 inches of the edge of the battlefield and more than 9 inches from all enemy units. The units you set up cannot move in the following movement phase. So basically you can deep strike them, which seems to be kind of the major theme of this is like, if you're bringing a ton of monsters, you deep strike them behind your opponent and then yeet your monsters into them, essentially.
Right.
With the run and charge.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I think it's pretty good. I also really like, you could also, like, let's say you're using it in Sons of Behemat, you could also put them on the front line, and then if people are trying to alpha you or just even get in, you can redeploy everyone, and it makes it harder for them to even get in. So you like leave a little bit of space, and then, you know what I mean? So it gives you the option to be sneaky in 2 different ways. I think it's kind of cool. The cost for the entire Regiment of Renown is 590. That's a lot.
That is quite a bit, yeah.
That's crazy.
And you're getting Gubapalooza, you're getting the Rabble-Rouser, you're getting 10 hoppers?
You're getting sorry, everyone.
I think it's 10 hoppers and then 12 squigs.
I think you're right. Squig Herd, hoppers, Gobapalooza, and the guy. I don't know. So 130 plus 180. So 320. Gobapalooza is 140, I want to say. So 460, I think. And then plus the other guy. So you're just paying for this you're paying an extra 30 points, I think. Now I could be wrong. I don't remember the points. Maybe I don't remember the points perfectly, but that's crazy. Oh, but we also don't know what the points are going to be when the thing comes out. I bet you some stuff is going up.
Probably, yeah.
Right.
But even still, it's a very heavy. That's a big tax to pay.
Yeah.
For. I don't know that these units are necessarily amazing outside of the Gits book.
Yeah.
Because a lot of Gits rely on, being able to come back and have strength and being in the light of the bad moon and all that other stuff.
That's where their points costs are like built in. And then also, light of the bad moon. So like run and charge and other stuff like that. yeah, that's a Sons of Behemat with wizards and a run plus charge incoming. Yeah, I mean that's true. Like there is a benefit because Sons of Behemat don't normally have wizards, so that's that's certainly a thing. Also screens. That's what I was saying, right? Can't use the squigs as a screen in Sons of Behemat if you deep strike with the board side. Yeah, exactly. So you'd have to kind of pick one or the other. But if you do set them up as a screen, then you can redeploy the whole Regiment of Renown, which is a pretty big deal. Squigs in your back line isn't. Yeah, that's another thing too. Yeah, I mean that's interesting. You know, I don't know that I like hoppers without a squig boss either. Is another thing, but they are fast. They're 10 plus D6. And then they won't be able to run in charge, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really see myself taking them, but I don't really play any armies that it would benefit from in particular. And eventually, I want to buy the Rabble Rouser, just because I like the model so much. But that'll wait until. Luckily, I'm kind of glad that I don't really like the rules all that much because, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be sitting there champing at the bit just to get that one model because I'm not going to buy the Regiment of Renown when I already own everything else. Yeah. What were your thoughts, Carson, in general?
Pretty much the same. It's kind of. I don't think we're going to see this taken a lot. I don't even think we're going to see the Rabble Rouser taken a lot as well because we've kind of determined that he's not going to be great in the Gits book. So, meh.
Yeah, meh. Indeed.
Maybe like meh minus.
Meh
like,
minus. Yeah. Okay.
On to the next one.
That's a good point too. Ledivicus says the -1 Ren for poisons only goes to Gets units, so you couldn't even give it to a giant. That's a good point. You could do it, I guess, on the hoppers or the squigs or something, but yeah. Okay. This guy is awesome. I really like this guy. I like the model, and I like the rules. So he's 6-inch move, meh, whatever, that's fine. 5 wounds, 5 up save, 10 bravery, everything is as you would expect. 5 attacks, 3s and 3s, -1 Ren, 2 damage, all pretty normal for all these guys. But then on top of that, at the end of the charge phase, you can pick one enemy unit within 3 inches of this unit and say that it will that this unit will offer it an infected bone, which is awesome. If you do so, your opponent must choose whether that enemy unit accepts or refuses the bone. If it refuses, the strike first effect applies to friendly Flesh Eater Courts units within 3 inches of this unit until the end of the following combat phase. That's crazy. So they basically all go into high tide, right? If it accepts that enemy unit becomes infected for the rest of the battle, roll 2d6 for the rest of the battle. And it's at the end of the charge phase. This is not once per turn either, or once per game kind of thing, right? It's just at the end of the charge phase. This is something you do. So if that happens, roll 2d6 before an infected unit issues or receives a command, attempts to cast a spell, or chants a prayer. Make the roll before the action is carried out. If the roll is greater than the unit's bravery characteristic, that unit cannot perform that action in that phase. So like if you're like a death player or a demon player, you don't really care about this all that much. You're always going to just be like, no strike last for you. I'll take the chance that, one time out of however many I don't get to do the thing. But if you're like Skaven, Destruction, you know what I mean? Like so many different factions, then this is a real bind. And then on top of that, this unit is not visible to enemy models while it's wholly within 6 inches of 5 or more friendly Flesh Eater Courts models. That's really good. Like 6 inches? Usually that's like 9 or 12. 6 inches is incredible.
And even in the current GHB, like you can't just have sharpshooters cut through that. Like you just straight up can't. Even in melee, actually, I guess it's. And how does that work?
Well, no, it's wholly within 6 inches. Oh, I see. Not
If
visible
he's
to
in
enemy
melee, we can.
models. Yes, so you can't even target it in melee, I don't think. Oh, wait, is there a thing about... I don't think there's
Actually,
like
it's
a
probably
sight.
fine.
Yeah, I think it's probably fine because I don't think there's a
Yeah.
sight thing. Correct us if we're wrong here, guys. Man, that's good. And then I think I don't remember how many points he is. 190. Oh no, sorry, looked at the wrong one.
I was like, jeez.
115. No, but like seriously though, that ability is insane. Like 115
For 115 points, that's an easy take.
He's
Yeah.
by far the best thing in here, and you're gonna take one in like every list from now on. I feel. He's not a wizard, which is important to point out because the next season's gonna be all about wizards apparently. You know, from what GW says. So, yeah, that's insane, right? Like, is he not the best thing on here? Like, he's like, I'm taking him in every Flesh Eater Courts army, I think. So, and then for the what's it called? The Regiment of Renown. You've got the Herald, of course, a unit of 20 Crypt Ghouls, a unit of 3 Crypt Horrors, a unit of 3 Crypt Flayers. And then what they get is units in this Regiment of Renown can run and still charge later in the turn. They just get that. You just all get to run and charge. Amazing. And then units in this Regiment of Renown have a ward of 6+. I think that's like sort of almost tacked on because like Deathless Minions is a thing from your what's it called? Allegiance abilities. So outside of your book, you wouldn't get that normally, and they're just making sure that they have it. Kind of like the Cruel Boys one where you still got your poison. Excuse me, sir. May I tempt you with this bone? Love it. Yeah. Yeah, it's such a weird thing. It's like, what? I'm not a stray dog, man. You know? Yeah, I mean, I think this one's pretty good. It has, how many points is it? It is 460, so it's also like pretty cheap.
Yeah. I don't know how do those other units perform? Like, I don't know almost anything about Flesh Eater Courts.
They're, like the ghouls are like fightier zombies. And then what's it? The Crypt Flayers, I believe they have like a decent amount of attacks and do 1 mortal wound on 6s to hit. They fly, I think it's 14 inches, but I could be wrong. It might be 12. But if they're running and charging, it's like crazy. The Harbingers, I think, hit a little bit harder. Better damage characteristic, but overall, I mean, for 460, to me, it seems like a really good deal. Like that's 20 models of Crypt Ghouls. Yeah, I think it's really cool. I mean, more like I like the Regiment of Renown. I don't know where and when I would take this, to be honest. But putting that aside, I think that just this Marrow Scroll Herald guy is awesome in Flesh Eater Courts. That's sort of my main takeaway. Offer it to Fleshhounds to feel good about yourself for being so generous. If I recall correctly, the Flesh Eater units are only scary if you have... Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, that's probably true. But like, yeah, I mean, I don't really know. Like, Soulblight are amazing right now, so you're not going to take this dope in Soulblight. OBR are amazing right now. Like, I wouldn't waste my time with them either. And then what else? There's one other death faction. What is it? Nighthaunt. Thank you. Nighthaunt. Yeah. I'm probably not taking them. I think just the main story of the for this section is just the Herald himself and putting him in Flesh Eater Courts.
Yeah, I agree. It seems almost kind of opposite to the Rebel Rouser.
Yeah.
Like,
for the rest of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen the 4th one yet, but because the Rebel Rouser is almost just straight up bad for Gits and better for other destruction armies, or specifically ogres and Sons of Behemoth.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy is he just seems like a really good FEC hero, essentially.
Right? Like why wouldn't you just take a Fungoid Cave Shaman who can cast one spell, sometimes cast another, or once per game. He's not visible outside of like 12 inches. He can take a lower spell. He's a wizard in the upcoming, GHB, so that's good. Like, he's better in every way. He's just slightly less survivable to melee because he's got like a terrible save or whatever. But I don't know, man. Yeah, I agree with you. Opposite of our buddy, the Rabble Rouza. Yeah, cool. And then last, would you be so kind as to read out some of this guy's shenanigans? Nice. I will not be owed.
Sure, yeah. So Harbinger of Decay, we're looking at the Nurgle hero in Regiment of Renown.
Yes, sir.
So he's got an 8-inch move, 3+ save, which is pretty good. 7 wounds, 8 bravery. Definitely the beefiest of the heroes so far. He has either a Plague Scythe or a Doom Bell. It is also armed with a Grim Rot Sword. So basically, you're choosing between the Plague Scythe or the. Wait, where's the? Oh, the Doom Bell is just an ability. Okay. So the Plague Scythe is 2-inch range, 2 attacks, 3s, -2, 3 damage, which is pretty decent.
Yeah.
The Rot Sword, 2 attacks, 3s, -1, D3 damage, which is also pretty good. Its mount has a Fly-Blown Bite. That's a mouthful. And is that 4 attacks?
Yeah.
4 attacks, 4s, and okay, 1 damage. So
yeah, it's a horse. Oh,
yep.
Of course.
And then abilities. So Shudderblight. At the start of the combat phase or Battle Shock phase, pick one enemy unit within 3 inches of this unit and roll a dice. On a 3+, that unit cannot issue or receive commands that phase.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically a roar that can be.
Yeah. So I have a question about this. It says at the start of the combat phase or battle shock phase. So I'm assuming you can't do both.
I think so.
Right?
That's how I would interpret it too. Yeah. If you previously used it in the combat phase, you can't use it in the battle shock.
Why didn't they just write this a little more clearly? Like, you know what I mean? Like
once per turn, blah 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 blah, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Once, per turn or something. Otherwise it's just like, because it just leaves room for ambiguity and for people to argue. Like, that's how I would interpret it. But like, someone could say like, well, no, it's just like you could do it then, or you could do it then, or you could do it both times. Like, it doesn't say that, but like, I don't like wiggle room. There's too many.
Yeah. It's hard to understand, but it is direct actually.
Like, I agree.
It says or, which is pretty explicit. I know people are going to misinterpret it for sure. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
So if you do choose the Doom Bell though, instead of the Plague Scythe, the trade-off is if this unit carries a Doom Bell once per battle in your hero phase, you can toll the Doom Bell. If so, enemy units within 14 inches of this unit, when it tolls the Doom Bell, are filled with despair until your next hero phase. The following effects apply to a unit filled with despair. Subtract 1 inch from the move characteristic. Subtract 1 inch from run rolls, and subtract 1 inch from card rolls for that unit as well. So it's cumulative, all three.
Right. And it's
once per battle for an entire turn.
And I think it's everyone within 14 inches, right? Enemy units, right? So everyone within 14 inches.
At the time that you ring your bell or whatever.
Or is it just when you're in the bubble? You can toll if it does so. Enemy units within 14 inches of this unit when it tolls the Doom Bell. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So that sucks. Am I right? Like why? Like in the
you're already close to your enemy. Yeah,
you're already close to your enemy, and it's only until your next hero phase. So if you get the double, it's almost useless. Actually, it is useless. It's literally completely useless.
But is it worth? So it's you're choosing between essentially what is that like? 2 attacks, 3s, -2, 3 damage. Like the profile's good, but it's low attacks.
It's low
right?
attacks. Absolutely, it is. Yeah.
Because you're choosing between like a damage potential of 6, or this ability.
Yeah.
And I honestly might choose this ability.
Really?
between the two. Yeah, just because I'm assuming you have other damage dealers in your army,
Okay.
and
Okay. Counterpoint. Shutterblight used to be a 7 or 14-inch range or something like that. Now it's 3 inches, which means you're in combat to turn off commands, and it's only on a 3 up. Right? So you're sending him into combat probably. Actually, here, let's read the final thing. He is a priest, which is awesome, by the way. And then Omens of Decay is a prayer that has an answer value of 3 and a range of 14 inches. If answered, pick one enemy unit within range, subtract the current battle round number from that unit's bravery characteristic until your next hero phase. Like that's a pretty good prayer. And then he could also, theoretically, because he's a priest, take a general prayer. So I mean, I actually kind of see a little bit more for your argument that you want to keep him out of combat.
it's kind of tough. Yeah, Shutterblade is the best ability on the War Scroll for sure.
Yes, absolutely, and it is unfortunately a 3-inch range thing now. The only thing I will say that's kind of good though is that it is in both combat phases or battle shock phases. So, you could keep him in the back as like a debuffing unit for when enemy units charge in, and then you can be like, no, I'll out attack for you or whatever. It's like a roar essentially on a non-monster unit that doesn't count towards your roars. Yeah.
So just to explain the damage potential of the Plague Scythe as well, though.
Yeah.
So if you're going up against a 4-up save, it's still on average doing like a little over 2 damage per combat.
Yeah.
Which is it's not a lot, right?
Yeah.
Versus, I guess it is a once per game ability, which really sucks, but I could maybe see you crippling your opponent for a turn. Well, yeah, because you're effectively, like, in most cases, you're subtracting 2 inches from the total movement of like a melee unit of some kind, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Neither are very good, to be honest. Like,
I agree, and James kind of hit the nail on the head here when he said, you can make him the general and then take the command trait that you just get that same ability, only you don't have to roll, and it's 7 inches, which is what I usually see. Like,
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's just a thing. That's it used to. So he used to have this ability, or the old model had this ability where you don't get it, and then in the new book in AOS 3 they made it a command trait. I think you can't be a monster if I'm right, James. There's some kind of caveat, so you can't put it on like a great unclean one or something. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't disagree. Horrible. Yeah, and I'm inclined to agree with taking the scythe as well. Also, the scythe looks freaking cool.
Can't argue with that.
Oh, it's no demons. I see. So it can go on any. There aren't a lot of. You can put them on like Drippy or there's not a lot of like Nurgle. Oh, there is. Isn't there like a hero on a fly? Can you put it on him? Because that would be cool. The Blight King on the fly, the hero one. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. It's so weird. I've never, like, ever since I got sick, I just not into Nurgle, but they're wearing me down. Like, I'm starting to see the appeal more and more as I go along, and it's scaring me. One Harbinger of Decay is in this Regiment of Renown. One Putrid Blight Kings unit with 5 models. One Pusquo Blight Lords unit with 2 models. Okay. And points for context, it is 590 again. And he was 190, by the way. I don't think I would take him by himself, especially as James said. Although I think that this War Scroll is replacing the old one. Correct me if I'm wrong. Could someone tell me if this guy is called the Harbinger of Decay? He might not be, so you might be able to use both for a limited time. I'm not sure. What was his specific prayer? His prayer was the Omens of Decay, and it's 3, and you pick 1 unit within range, subtract the current battle round from their bravery characteristic. So, like, you can make it so that, like, depending on the timing and such, that, like, units are not going to get... Some units just won't be able to do heroic recovery, certain things like that. I'm not sure how much else it plays into stuff, but yeah. James says yes, but now I don't remember. Oh, yeah, he was called the Harbinger of Decay. I couldn't remember my question. Yeah. Okay, so that's cool. So then I guess this one will replace that. So you might as well take, if you're going to take him, you might as well put the other thing on, like, on a Blight King champion guy on fly, right? Bravery nerf is a no commands in the battle shock phase model. You make a great point. I didn't think about that. I didn't get that far.
Battle shock or combat. So you could.
Yeah, so you're probably doing it in combat.
It actually works pretty well because that effectively means that you can screw with your opponent in both phases.
There's other things too, like, yeah, you could do yeah, like, imagine putting that on squigs. You could probably have them at, like, minus bravery, and they can't take commands anyway for the prayer. And then you know, and then no commands for, like, the hoppers or something. Is he unique? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he's not. Correct. Let us know if we're wrong here. It doesn't say. Oh, actually, it would say on the points, wouldn't it? Single, 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 single. Nope. No unique. The regiments of Renown are all unique, but we knew that going in. Okay. So the abilities. Would you mind reading out the abilities? My throat's dying. For the
sure.
ROR.
Jerk. No. So they have 2 abilities once again. I think also we discussed they have 1 Harbinger of Decay, 5 Putrid Blight Kings, 2 Pusco Blight Lords. So the first ability is Fog of Despair, which is just subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made with missile weapons that target a unit in this regiment of Renown, so just harder to hit. And then Disgustingly Resilient, they're basically just carrying over what's from the Nurgle book. They have a 5+ ward, and then also in your hero phase, at the start of your hero phase, you can heal 1 wound allocated to each unit in this regiment. So, yeah. It doesn't really stack with any other armies, which is kind of not great.
And I'm not even sure. I would have to, like, look up the... I don't know enough about Blight Kings or the Blight Lords, I think they're called. Puscoil Blight Lords. To say, you know, because that's a lot of points. Was it 590 as well? Yeah, 590.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of wounds, though. And with a 5+ ward, like, some armies could probably benefit from this, maybe. Again,
well, like, going army from army, you probably don't want to take this in Tzeentch, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Slaanesh probably doesn't want it either.
Probably not. Although they don't really have anvils.
Yeah.
So this would be an anvil. I don't know enough about Slaanesh, to be fair. 250 for 2 Puscoils. Okay.
I guess it's kind of okay in Khorne, sort of.
I could see
maybe.
Khorne. Yeah, because there's no anvils over there as much either.
Yeah, and you've got an extra spell, an extra prayer here, but you're messing with people's battle shock, which is pretty nice.
Right.
And then slaves is like everything in slaves is an anvil already, so it's not...
I do like it in, although I believe the flies have a shooting attack, so that would add a very, very, very small amount of shooting to your your slaves. I could see it in Skaven. Skaven don't really have anvils. I don't know if it's worth it or not, to be honest. But yeah, I probably wouldn't take it, to be honest, but
It's just a huge chunk of points.
it's so big. Yeah, it's so much. Are they allowed it? I thought the opposite. God blocked them. Are you talking about taking Regiments of Renown, Alex? Because you can take Regiments of Renown as long as they are in the same weirdness that Carson is, and you can basically take as long as you're in the same, what's it called, faction. So like chaos, any chaos army can take chaos. You don't have to be, you're not like locked into allied factions. So that's because Skaven can't normally take any allies except for Nurgle. If you have pestilence, or I can't remember how it works, or if you might not have any now, but you can take the Zeech one because they're both chaos. Oh, I see. I don't think so. I don't think there's any kind of maybe there's something specific in their battle tome, but you can take it as long as you're both chaos, essentially. So there might be a good reason not to, but not that I'm aware of, to be honest. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm going to be curious as to how much they're going to charge for these boxes. I saw the question floating around in the on some Facebook pages, and the general, like, some people were saying the same as Vanguard boxes, and I was like, that'd be crazy. Like,
yeah, I really hope not.
But if they are, that's so dumb. Like, I don't think they're going to sell very many, you know.
I don't know if they're going to sell very many, period, to be honest.
Yeah, with these rules.
Because,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know, because like the whole FOMO. I mean, these aren't FOMO boxes. They're just like being ahead of the curve as far as these new heroes are going.
Yeah, agreed.
But,
and like, no one cares unless you're FEC, and if you're FEC, you already have a bajillion of everything in that box except for the one hero, because the start collecting box for Flesh Eater Courts has like basically everything except for like the terrain piece and the Abhorrent Archregent. So
yeah. I really think that just the Nurgle and the Gitz ones are going to be the only ones that really sell anything, probably.
You might be right. Although, like, competitive people will probably buy the Flesh Eater Corpse one just to get ahead of the curve. You know what I mean? To get that guy, maybe. But
that's true, but we're expecting an FEC book later this year, too.
That's true. Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, but Flesh Eater Courts are really good right now, too. So, it's... I mean, I don't think they're going to sell a lot of them, for sure. But if you're like a diehard Flesh Eater Courts fan, you're probably like, oh yeah, we're finally getting something new. I don't know. Even then, I don't know, man. I might just make my own model and proxy it. You know what I mean? Glue a bunch of bits together and stuff like that. James says Gobapalooza. I think you're referring to the fact that people can't buy Gobapalooza because they're really good and they've been sold out for a while. I think that's probably true. That's probably true. Yeah. I don't know. Can't find it. Yeah. Like certain models like that, and terrain and endless spells, like you just can't find any of them. It's not good. It's not good. I feel like they don't really have this. I don't think like this problem, or whatever you want to call it, is sort of known about in the 40K community, because they don't have faction terrain, really, and they don't have endless spells. So the two things that are like, you know, being an issue for production-wise and being able to find stuff, I believe that's because they're made in China and there's, you know, issues going on after COVID or something. I don't know, like, I'm not saying that that's true, but that's what I understand or have heard. Regardless, you definitely can't find almost any endless spells, etc., and stuff like that. It exists until FAQ. What does? I'm not sure. Sorry, James, because we're um, we're ahead, so I'm not sure what you're referring to there, but um, yeah, I don't think that most of the I think only Age of Sigmar people know about the production issues. Uh, oh, I see. Chaos War Dogs haven't been available since release. That's crazy, and a lot of Chaos armies want to pull them in for the sheer shooting firepower. Huh. um, but that's just like a unit that I think is super popular, Alex. It's not like a production specific kind of issue. Um, yeah, that's just like they can't keep certain things in that are super popular. That's always been the case, like even in Age of Sigmar, since the early days. But it's not like a what's the word, import export issue as far as I know. Like I remember when I got into Skaven in AOS 1, there was the warp grinders for Skaven, those guys that tunnel. And it's like an old metal model, and it would go. It just wasn't in the store. Couldn't buy it for like 6 months, and that was just them sucking in general. Just just not being on top of it. Looking at the Maggot Can Vanguard box, the only difference is one has the Harbinger, the other instead has 10 Plague Bearers plus the Scrivener. Oh, cool. I don't know which the Nurgle Vanguard box, to be honest. I'll pull it up real quick if I can. Can I?
It's two Possible Blight Lords, 5 Blight Kings, 10 Plague Bearers, and the Scrivener.
Okay.
It looks like a lot more just because you're getting the Plague Bearers, I think.
The Plague Bearers for sure. But, you probably want the darn it. Gosh darn it. Can people see? Sorry, I can't see. There we go. So this is in Canadian prices, so no one freak out. The prices haven't gone up. Can you imagine if you're like in the States, you're like, $170? I didn't hear about this price hike. GW. Yeah. And the Scrivener is a cool model. It would be a good way to start a new Nurgle army. I think you said that earlier, Carson. Yeah.
Yeah. This combined with the new regiment.
Keith says, Australia, did the price go down? Yeah. What kind of sale is going on over at the Games Workshop store?
Wowee.
Yeah. Actually, that's true. Keith, I know, is getting into Nurgle. He's looking at getting into some gurgly and Nurgly. And maybe I will too at some point. But for now, I've got quite a few things to paint. I've been working on my Agrodons. I don't think they're going to come out very well, but been enjoying painting them.
Good.
Thanks, yeah. Just don't get much time to paint lately, so yeah. I will be grabbing the Vanguard box and the Harbinger box to start the army. Have Blobe and a tree on order. Nice. I'm glad you got your tree, man. They're not easy to come by, actually. But I wouldn't be surprised for them to come in only $20 less than a Vanguard box. I mean, that does, the what are they called? The Plague Bearers are not the most enticing part of that army. Like, you can probably find a lot of Plague Bearers used, so it wouldn't surprise me, that and the new Harbinger model is sick. Or, sorry, no pun intended. It's awesome. It's really cool looking. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, man. What about you guys? Like, is anyone? Oh, there's the tree in 40K. Oh, the plot thickens. I thought they had like the plague furnace thingy for them. It was like some kind of chimney infected. What's it called? Those stoves that people used to have, the wood burning furnace thing. If people's, yeah, I thought that was what they had. I didn't know they had the tree as well. Death Guard, thank you. I couldn't come up with it. Yeah, I mean, so if you're gonna only buy one of these, Carson, which one is it?
Probably the goblins one, the Gits one, just because I can actually use it. I
Yep.
could have some fun, like doing a monster trucks list with Beast Claw.
You could take the Nurgle one in Slaves to Darkness.
That's true. Yeah, I feel like it's just kind of, I don't know. I like when different rules are introduced as opposed to just like here's this block of dudes that can soak up damage.
That's true.
So it's not super enticing to me.
That's a good point. Oh, does Corn Demons have the Corn Altar as well? So do you pay points for it, James? I wasn't aware of that. But
What about yourself?
for me, what do we got? We got FEC. Definitely not Fire Slayers. Like I don't enjoy the look of the army. It's just not my thing. I'm not a big dwarf guy in general. Goblins. I already have everything in there. Yeah, I think for me it would be the Nurgle one. Isn't that crazy? People who know me would be surprised, but I think those are some of the coolest models in the whole army. Like Blight Kings are cool. I really like the flies. For Nurgle, I like Nurglings, but you know, it can't be perfect, right? And then I like, I actually do like Blobe, I think he's called, or whatever, that Keith was talking about. They're like, they're kind of older models and they don't go together super well. Like there's kind of gaps, but you can just fill that with, you know what I mean? Like there's ways of making it look good, and it's not that hard because I believe it is plastic. Ladivika says, I'm getting the Gits one for reasons unknown to you. I don't remember if you have Gits already, Ladivicus, so let me know, because that's interesting. I mean, you don't. I think the Gits one is probably the best one. You know, if you don't already own them, and then if you do, and you just want more of what's in there, then all the power to you in the world. They're all awesome looking models. So it's your only destruction faction. Hey man, rock on. Like Squig Herd are good. You don't have you can't use the Regiment of Renown in Gits, but you can take those models in Gits, and you can have 2 Gobapalooza. You can have, you can have extra Squig Herd, more hoppers, or you can build them as Boingrots because you're not taking the Regiment of Renown. Oh, I see. The Magath Lords. They were End Times models. Really? The Blobe and whatnot? That's crazy. Nurgle Tree is 100 points. Skull Altar is 105. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, I remember the Gene Stealer cult had like that crazy cool drill that you can't find anymore, and they don't have it anymore, and it was like 100 points, but like no one ever seems to take the 40k terrain because you have to pay points for it. But they are cool. Okay, Carson's typing.
I pressed enter too early. I'm just going to say it out loud. Oh, God.
Cool.
I'm panicking.
Yeah.
No, I just did the math. And so with the current points, they're definitely going to change. But with the current points, you can run the Gits Regiment of Renown,
Okay.
a Frostlord on Stonehorn,
Ooh.
and 3 Stonehorn Beast Riders
Ooh.
for a legal list.
What?
Yeah, so you can have 4 Stonehorns plus the Gits Regiment of Renown.
Jeez.
If you want to.
And you could take even more if you took mammoths, right?
I don't know if you could fit in. Well, let me check.
Because mammoths have that sweet like fight last ability, right?
They're bad. They're not good.
He says they're not
don't
good.
take Thunder Dusts.
Monster
trucks and
I
cheerleaders.
love it. I love it, dude. That's a great call. Alex was using his mammoths to good effect. He was saying, I don't know. I have no bone in this fight, but yeah, I mean, that's fair. Yeah. It probably depends on what you're fighting too, right? Like,
Yeah.
And their monstrous action is only if they charge. Is that right? Mammoth.
The mammoths. I don't even remember what it is.
I think it's like a 3 up, then you fight last, but I could be wrong.
Checking.
I'm curious because like the Stegodon has the same one. The Stegodon's not good, and it's a 4 up though, and only if it charges. So, and only in Coalesced.
Jewel of the Everwinter.
I love how when people are discussing ogres and someone goes, "What about thunder tusks, though?" The rest of the group often looks at them like, "Stop it, get some help." Michael Jordan's. Was I just Michael Jordan, Keith? Is that what you were saying? Stop it, get some help.
Yeah, it's only if they charge and only on that 3 up. So.
How many points?
No.
How many points, Carson?
How many
points? Yeah.
So it depends on what you want to run. If you want to run like a battle line Thunder Tusk,
yeah,
it's probably 270 points.
270
for like the minimum.
Okay.
That's for a Thunder Tusk battle line. But if you wanted to run like a Huskard on Thunder Tusk,
yeah,
that's 330 points. If you wanted a Frost Lord on Thunder Tusk, it's 400 points.
A Frost Lord on Thunder Tusk, I see.
Probably wouldn't want to do that. You'd probably want a Huskard.
Yeah. The
Huskard
or the battle line, right?
Huskard or battle line, yeah, because the Huskard has prayers and the battle line's just cheaper.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Oh wow, prayers. That sounds really awesome. Like prayers on a big monster is actually pretty good. I mean, it sounds way better than a Stegodon though. Stegodon is only if it charges, it's on a 4 up and it's 300 points, and it frankly doesn't hit hard enough. Thunder Tusk look cool and hit like a wet mop. What's not to like? Hey, I could smack someone with a wet mop and do... Okay, fair enough. Alex... I thought Alex was saying that he had some success with his Thunder Tusks. But, I mean, to be fair, even though I do think Stegodon are worse, I wouldn't take Stegodon, so... But a priest sounds really dope. It really honestly does. And you can still do the monstrous action. So, yeah. Although but then you can't take but you need it to be battle line. Otherwise you don't have enough battle line.
Yeah.
So that is the flaw, the fatal flaw in the ointment. Stegodon is paying for the sins of its past. It absolutely is. I just don't like the rotation thing, and I've talked about it before, and I won't bore you guys with it again. But because I can't... The main thing that annoys me, too, I will say, like, once again, -1 rend on a freaking Triceratops' horns. Oh, that rubs me the wrong way. It's so stupid. Anyway, I could help myself. You have 2 in your mammoth list. How can you even call it a mammoth list if you only have 2? Am I right? Am I right or am I wrong?
I'd agree with that, yeah.
Yep, I'm calling you out, Alex. Because you can't fit 6 stone horns. That's fair. Hear me out. Take your priest, but put it on a stone horn. Can you do that?
Yep. I was good on Stonehorn.
Ooh. Thunder Tusk has -1 rend on its horns. Yep. That's also stupid. I mean, I definitely think that a Triceratops horn... Anyway, I will not... I will not open up that can of worms, although I already did. Yeah, I mean, it's exciting though. I'm looking forward to these things. You know, the book is coming out in like a week and a half, essentially. So like this leak is not really that far ahead of time, but it's just kind of fun to have something to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if any of these regiments are going to get a lot of play, to be honest, though.
I don't think any of the other ones got a lot of play.
That's fair. Yeah. It's kind of unfortunate because like I can see from GW's perspective not wanting to make them too powerful, because then all of a sudden some guy shows up with his extra book that like the new player didn't know about. He's like, well, actually, if I put these 3 books together and do this thing, I have this crazy OP combo.
Yeah.
Like, it's just going to make people angry for sure. But
it's true.
It's also just bad.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
It's just not good. I'm actually okay with them making the Regiments of Renown more of a flavor thing, I guess, is what they're sort of doing here. My my one beef is that I think all of the Harbingers should be at least as cool as the Flesh Eater Courts one. Like, I don't know what the point is of making a model with like a, you know, that just doesn't even belong in the army that it's designed for, like the Gits one.
Yeah.
But cool models are forever.
Like,
Rules are temporary.
I do actually kind of like the Gits Regiment of Renown though, because it introduces like some cool bonuses to an army that's not yours, right?
Yeah.
I almost wish they just had 2 Warscrolls for the Rabble Rouser, where, you know, here's what he is in the regiment, and here's what he is in the Gits army, because, like you said, he's just useless in the Gits book.
That's true. I mean, and like, you could always just borrow my models too if you wanted to run it. You know, I don't have the Harbinger yet, but like the Rabble Rouser. But you know, I'll probably pick him up at some point. You prefer this level of rules? Yeah. I don't think anyone disagrees. Do you want incarnates? Strong rules is how you get incarnates. Well, yeah, we've had one incarnate so far, and yeah, this sort of status quo on that was way too powerful when it came out, and eventually they figured out where it should have been to begin with. That really wasn't a good look. Like, I'm sure it made them some money, but like I really don't think it was a good look at all. The problem is, if the Regiment of Renowns don't sell well, they'll probably just ditch the idea, and then people have a bunch of models for factions they don't own. That's not a bad point. I mean, they're probably trying to, frankly, just get people into different armies, and it's a good strategy, to be honest. It's
just as planned.
Yeah, just as planned, baby. Unless you're a Gits player who just were one of the many who couldn't get a hold of Gobapalooza, but that's a good point. I don't think. I mean, they're not going to abandon it until at least AOS 4, and here's why. They've got it all planned out. Like, everything that they've planned out is already made. And Carson, you're an animal. The Grimhold Exile doesn't belong in Fire Slayers. Yeah, same with the Gits one, dude. Oh, yo, Sean, what's up, man? What is up, friend? Yeah, we're talking about these sweet Harbinger and or Regiment of Renown leaks. He is more expensive and hits worse than a GWB and takes a leader slot. Yeah, nope, totally agreed. Same. There's literally no point. We were talking about it. He's 10 points more, and he's worse than the Fungoid Cave Shaman. It's crazy. Gateway drugs. Yep. They work well. Carson thinks. As you can tell by his classic thinking pose. Yep. And Alex says, give me Mega Pig. I think that's something we can all agree on. Death to Mega Pig. Dang it. Mine just slid right down. Ugh. There we go. That's uncomfortable, and I can't see very well. Nope. Slid right down. Good glasses. Thank you, glasses. Yeah. Well, this was really fun. I don't know. Do we have anything more? Is there anything else to talk about? Oh, actually, there is. There's a small thing. Well, not a small thing. Our local group went to a local RTT, and friend and frequent visitor of the channel, Roman, who many of you have probably seen, he won it. Matthias, another person on the channel that you all know probably, he got second. And Dale, another person you guys all know from the channel, got third. So they got our local group got first, second, and third. So congrats to Roman, Matthias, and Dale. That was really cool. Carson, you do need a monocle. Why do you not already have a monocle? Explain to Ladivicus.
I need to earn a monocle of some kind. I either need to screw someone over in a business deal.
Okay.
Or
I'm pretty sure you've done that to me, but
yeah. Or be gifted it as a result of an epic quest. I think those are the two situations where I can get a monocle, and neither has happened so far. So Yep.
Okay. We need to figure something out. But
Yeah, let's just go like this.
Where did you get your monocle from? That's amazing.
That really hurts my head.
Yeah. Yeah, I took my mom down because she needed shades so she can whatever, and so then I was, I was like, I was like trying to figure out the brightness on it, so I looked through her glasses, and I was just like, oh my god, like instant headache. Sag of Dice crew rolling hot for sure. Out of 4 players, how dare you, sir? How dare you? The Monopoly man doesn't actually have a monocle. Mandela effect. Does he not? What?
Oh.
Does the Monopoly man not have a monocle? That would be crazy. I thought Dale got second and Matthias got third. Actually, Alex is right. My apologies to Dale. Keith, when
he does not have a monocle.
What? That is the Mandela effect. That's wild.
He also has hair.
Yeah. And a white mustache or white hair.
Yeah.
And a top hat. Carson, pick it up, man. Dang. I do think you need a monocle though. Is that a can of spam again? Awesome. Oh geez. When he returns from the meat dimension alive, give that man a monocle. Yeah. I mean, make it out of Play-Doh. Either is acceptable. I do think, even though the Mandela effect, blah, blah, I still think you need a monocle. I'm still with Ladivicus. I'm right there.
Yeah. Also, speaking of Keith's comment, I have been stuck in the meat dimension for a while, and you said you're going to pick me up like 7 months ago at the bus stop.
That's awkward.
And you haven't done so yet, and I'm still here.
At the Tenderloin bus stop? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Keith, what's going on, man?
It smells really bad. It smells really bad in here.
Yeah, there's no barbecues in the meat dimension.
No, they don't allow fire. There's no electricity. Everything's just slowly rotting. It's terrible. At least I'm not hungry.
Yeah. I think we can all agree we wish Monopoly Man's business fails.
For just 3 pennies a day, you can pay my bus fare out of the meat dimension.
Yeah. Yeah. Pennies a day. Oh, man. There's too much ocean between Australia and the meat dimension. I'm building a boat. It takes time. What is the boat made out of? What a Bahamut. Welcome. We've been talking about the different Harbingers and all the delicious rules leaks that happened. Carson's got his ineffectual meat tenderizer. And now he's doing some kind of interpretive dance to knock down the meat in the meat dimension. Aren't you all glad you tuned in for this? No! Oh no. Or did he escape? I'm not sure. Australia's landlocked.
I can phase in and out of reality just
I'm hoping we'll see some neat stuff this Saturday. Yeah, so I don't know where you are, Bahamut, but it is 2 p.m. 2 p.m. UK time. So some neat stuff, you jackass. I like it though. So it's gonna be like, oh no, it's gonna be Saturday here too. 15 more Marines left to build from Leviathan. Wow. That is blazing fast. Yeah, I'm hoping for something good. I think we'll probably see more like, what's it called? Dawnbringer stuff. Because this set is coming out pretty quick, right?
Yeah, we've known about a lot of this stuff for quite a while now. Like at least a little bit about each.
Yeah.
regiment that we've seen so far. So it'd be pretty cool if they unveiled the next set of them.
That would be awesome. Oh, Middlelandia in the States? Right on. It's going to be super early in the morning. I hope to see a new steam tank. That'd be cool. No, I know, but that's pretty fast, man. I just sold 10 Dissolution Marines for 120. Then bought another Agastus set. Wild. I don't remember Dissolution Marines. Is that from the Horse Heresy? And Betty, we see a bleep ton of cities previews. That's a great call. I think that's probably the most likely thing. Is some more city stuff. Maybe we'll see like a centerpiece. That'd be cool. Although cities coming out it's coming out in the summer, isn't it?
Fall.
Is it fall?
Beginning of fall, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we're 3 months away yet, probably.
Jeez. Okay. Then we might not see it because, like, I don't know. I don't remember how far
when was
the Seraphon?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oh shoot, I don't remember. Actually, maybe we're about to be in July. What's coming in the summer? Well, Seraphon were coming in the summer, or they came before the summer, actually.
And then the GHB is coming soon.
GHB and the Harbinger Book 1.
And Harbinger Book 2 we pull up this roadmap.
I know we do it every time, but like, you just never know how things are gonna change. I thought Cities was coming in summer, but now that you say that, I'm sure you're right.
So actually, after the General's Handbook, that's the last thing that was supposed to come in the summer, according to the roadmap.
Okay.
And then the first thing that's coming in autumn is the Cities book.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more stuff for that.
And they said summer for Seraphon, but it was before summer even started. So we could maybe August or early September for.
That's very true. Yeah, they could do like an army box.
Yeah.
Because it's the battle tome.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. Because like the Seraphon box came out first, and then like a month later or something, we got the full release, and that was still not summer.
Technically not.
Well, no, because like it started on the 22nd, and it came out on the.
Yeah, that's true.
When did it come out again? My brain is so.
A couple weeks ago now.
Yeah. Right. I want to say. Anyway. Cities will have I think it was like early June. Yeah, I think it was like super early June.
So maybe we'll see a Cities army box in like August?
Yeah, I think it was June 3rd, now that I think about it. So then, yeah. So maybe we'll see it, in August. That would be cool. Cities will have an army box fall, then main stuff comes in late autumn. Interesting. They need to release points so I can plan for the US Open. I know. We all feel that way. We should do like...
James.
What's that?
Are you going to Tacoma, James?
I think he is.
Then I'll see you there.
See ya. GW doesn't know seasons. Just look at the roadmap for order. Forget the seasons. You're not wrong.
That's fair.
I'm hoping that it's somewhat symmetrical. I mean, we all just kind of want stuff to come out sooner, right? Like I have no interest in cities, but like I hope it comes out sooner. I hope it comes out in August. The box comes out in bring it out in July. Like I'm fine with that, And then, yeah. U.S. Open in Tacoma, nice. FEC nice. August. FEC or that other book is coming out after Cities, right? According to the roadmap. So
yeah, the roadmap directly says Cities in August.
The roadmap says Cities in August?
Oh, sorry, not in the fall. Yeah.
In the fall, okay. But it says that Cities is coming first and then Flesh Eater comes. Okay.
Well, it doesn't say Flesh Eater.
It doesn't say Flesh Eater. It says another book.
A Battle of Tome, but I think it's literally the only one left. So
right on. It says a book.
Hey, pay us money.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it says. That's what it always says. That's GW's main. That's like their mission statement or whatever. They're like under their logo. It says Games Workshop. Pay us money. Yeah, give us all your money. It's like what a robber says to you. You can't tell the difference. Yeah. It's winter right now. Y'all are delusional. Excuse me, sir, but I believe most of this planet lives in the northern hemisphere. Okay. Technically, yeah. You know what's crazy, Keith? Is so like I went to a school with a bunch of crazy southern hemisphere people, and my Australian friends told me that like one of their Christmas traditions is to go down to the pool in like flip-flops and like hang out near the pool and go to the beach and stuff like that on Christmas, which it just felt so wrong. Someone, from Canada. Could have been Q1 Chaos Dwarves. Yeah, you know what's funny is it seems like those predictions for the armies that were coming out, Bahamut, are all wrong. Cool living the upside down. Cool people live in the upside down, Rob. I can't argue with that. Just ask any bat. Christmas is like 40 degrees heat time. Yeah, it's wild. And Warhammer is primarily a British hobby. That's true. I am British Columbian. Yes. Nailed it. So Bahamut brings up Chaos Dwarves. When AOS 3 first came out, I don't know if you were like around or cognizant of some of the stuff that was sort of going on at the time, Carson. But when
I actually wasn't born yet.
That's true. You weren't born in 2021 yet. That's true. Yeah. You were just a figment of my imagination.
Scroped.
I dreamed you like this, like the Slan dreamt up.
Yeah. Kind of a crappy dream, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
you could have dreamed of lizard people for one. Like that's one thing you could have dreamed of, but instead you chose the overweight, not quite Monopoly man to mumble at you online.
It doesn't even have a monocle. What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have dreamt up a monocle. That's
No name brand.
That's
Monopoly man.
My biggest mistake is not dreaming up a monocle. I regret everything. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so the Chaos Dwarves. Dang it. I mean, there is the hints with the Hobgrots about Chaos Dwarves. Absolutely. So, but there was like a leak that they said that there was going to be 3 new armies that came out during the lifetime of AOS 3. One was Chaos Dwarves. The other was Umbraneth or Shadow Realm, Shadow Dwarves or whatever. Basically Dark Elves, but I said dwarves. I meant to say elves. Shadow Elves. And then I can't remember. There was another one. Was it Silent Ones or whatever? The destruction thing? I can't remember. Carson isn't real. Yeah. I dreamt him up. That's why he's got the twinkle of starlight in his skin. It's beautiful if you think about it. I'm going crazy. The waiver to join the stream. We don't talk about that. Yeah. Yeah, the true successors of the Dark Elves. Indeed. But it looks like that was all a lie. And not that that's super surprising, but I bought it. Carson is super out of focus. Oh my God. That was brutal on my eyes. Damn you. Yeah, it's funny because like in AOS, we've always gotten new armies constantly. In AOS 1, there was like Deepkin, KO, Sylvaneth, Daughters of Cain. And like Sylvaneth and Daughters were like sort of partial ones. But like, KO and IDK were like brand new, totally. And then, every edition we've had a bunch of new armies, like straight up new armies. And that was something I used to always talk about. Like, man, 40K, like they get resculpts, but they do not get new armies. And yeah, we didn't. The only new army we got in AOS 3 was Cruel Boys, and that's not even a new army because that's Auric War Clans. It's like we got a new sub allegiance. So the Chaos Dwarf rumor happened at the start of AOS 3. So I'm not sure, like, because that was what, 2 years ago now, or 2 years ago in a few days, and yeah, so I don't think that was a Total War thing because they didn't come to Total War until Total War 3 came out, like not that long ago, right? It was like a month or two ago. They are kind of like Dark Elves. You're not wrong, but like they're a totally new faction. I don't know. I'm a little disappointed. Like this is my favorite edition of AOS, and I wouldn't actually trade that for anything, including new armies that none of those armies are something I was likely to collect anyway. But I don't know. I am disappointed. Like I think that's, I was hoping that there was going to be some more new armies, I guess. But would you have played any of those, Carson?
Probably not. I think that there's actually quite a few armies in Age of Sigmar now. Like there's a lot. And at a certain point they do have to kind of put a cap on.
They do. Yep.
Maybe let's not have this much variety.
Yep.
So I'm not super surprised that they've kind of toned down that.
Totally.
And I would be surprised if there's more than one new army in AOS 4.
Yeah. I think, well, I mean, they have to at some point do Umbraneth, right?
Do they?
I mean, Malarian's one of the main pantheon gods of Age of Sigmar. I think it'd be crazy not to. But, like, my point is they need to do that one. They need to do one. But, like, Tyrion, when Tyrion returns, he's just part of LRL. So it's not a new army. That's just, like, a new sub-faction at most, probably.
Yeah.
There's other examples that I had of that. Like Kurnothi, I really want them to make Kurnothi. Kurnothi they're basically wood elves, but they are just going to go in with Sylvaneth, right? So that's not really, that'd be like a new sub-allegiance. I don't think they would get their own book. But
So Umbraneth and then Chaos Dwarves, I guess, is like a possible other faction that people have talked about.
Well, as Bahamut talked about, like the Hobgrot Slittas, their grenades were supposed to be made by the Chaos Dwarves. So like we have like a confirmation that they exist. But there's also like the bug people, the silent ones that were supposed to be like a destruction force that was rumored to be the AOS 3 starter box. Like there's other stuff out there. There's weird like squid dwarves that live in the sea. And there's like weird crab grots that like live on the beaches and stuff like that. Like they've hinted at a bunch of different things that, different directions that they could take. But like, I wouldn't be sad if they mostly just expanded armies or redid sculpts like they did for Slave to Darkness, Seraphon, etc. And then added some stuff on like they did for, Sylvaneth, for example. But yeah, they stopped the middle of Cruel Boys and just released them where they stopped. There is currently 24 armies for AOS. Ulgu Elves would make 25. That is a lot. That is I believe that is exactly a crap ton. There's still time. Searches for his big hat. Boom, 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 boom. Umbraneth could add more things for the dock, as they basically already. Yeah, I mean, that's not wrong. I don't think that they will, because Morathi is essentially the god of the daughters, and Malarian is like popular too, right? And like shadow demon dragon elves, like, oh my god, that's gonna be popular. If they're cool enough, that would be one of the few things that could get me. As much as I would love Dark Elves coming back, I would much prefer them cap the number of armies and make sure they can support the ones they have. I mean, my Skaven army would thank you for that. Yeah, for sure. Like some armies have been neglected for sure.
That's kind of why I think they're like I think they'll definitely introduce a new army of some kind in AOS 4, and then they'll probably just keep doing what they've been doing this year essentially, which is just model refreshes, like updating armies. And there are certainly some armies that just straight up need more kits. Like Idna Thiepkin is one for sure.
Yeah, big
Um,
time.
Daughters of Cain as well, I think, is pretty low.
Daughters is higher. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, like Daughters got a lot of like the. I mean, they have more than IDK, but they also had like a lot of those models are from Warhammer Fantasy Battles, right?
That's true. Yeah. And then there's a lot that like Skaven, of course, that just has like really, really outdated kits that needs a big refresh. So I'd imagine there's going to be a lot more of that for sure. Yeah. But new armies, I think it's probably just going to be one.
Beasts of Chaos need a revamp.
Yep.
Although, honestly, like Beasts of Chaos is the main faction. I'm worried that they're going to just cut them.
Do you think they will?
I don't, because they intersect with the old world. But if they're going to cut anything, it's probably them. Like, what else would they cut? I'm not saying that I hope that they do, by the way. I don't hope that they do, because I really... It just doesn't make sense, being that they intersect so well with the old world. So, yeah, I doubt it. But Crabgrots, there's a lotion for that. Yes, there's an antibiotic lotion for that. Umbrenath units have been aligned with Doc. Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, they'll be aligned with them, but they'll get their own book for sure. LRL will get 6 books with AOS 4. So you're saying they'll get a little less than they've gotten so far. That I can, I think that's where the tide is sort of taking us. 7, take it or leave it. Okay. Carson said that, by the way. Marathi is a mommy for Malarian. That's true. Or was in the old world. Yep, that's absolutely true. Did Doc get like 3 books super fast? They did. Well, they got 2 books super fast. They got... Or wait, have they had 4 books? They had got one in AOS 1. And then they got one in AOS 2. No, they've only had 3 total. So the first one was AOS 1, and then I think the second one was like late AOS 2. I think it was right before Soulblight, if I remember right. And then AOS 3, they got one pretty quick, so that's why those two seemed really close together. But people count Teclis for LRL, so don't forget to count the Marathi book. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yep, absolutely. That's true. I think part of the thing for the LRL, Keith, was that like they came out with like, there was like the sub book for LRL, but then you could also buy like the combined book at the same time for LRL, and that was where things got a little bit ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, it's fun to joke. Like back in the day when AOS 1 was a thing, like every release was Stormcast. It was just like constant. And so people got, sick of it. And that was actually way worse than LRL, but it's fun to meme. Or so I'm told. Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to these Harbinger books, though. These Dawnbringer books. And the cool new models we'll get. Cool new rules. Yeah, Marathi. I have Marathi and I have Kragnos. I don't have Teclis or Be'lakor. Just because I didn't have any units or armies in there. But I really want an excuse to buy Be'lakor, because that model is freaking awesome. But yeah, I won't say the thoughts that went through my head about Be'lakor in Age of Sigmar. What about you, Carson?
Buying Be'lakor?
Yeah.
He's pretty cool. Yeah. He's a cool dude,
Yeah.
Pretty chill.
He is the first prince.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the prince before it was cool.
Yep. It's true. Too cool for demon school.
Yep.
Well, On that uplifting note, is there anything you want to tell the people, Carson, before we go?
Am I supposed to have a statement prepared?
Yes.
Oh God.
You get the memo.
I want to thank my mom, NASCAR,
NASCAR, what?
and Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Don't thank NASCAR. They do not sponsor this podcast.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Jesus.
Yep.
My boy.
Yep.
JJ.
Buddha.
Old JC. Yep.
Yep. LRL was 1. Oh, I see. LRL was 1 limited edition box, 2 normal book, 3 second book, techless book, and then 5 book that combines second book. Techless book into 1. That is actually a crazy amount of books. 6 of there isn't really 6, is there, Keith? I did not realize there were that many. What? Limited edition box. Oh, I see. But the limited edition box one was the same thing as the normal book, right? So, like, we wouldn't count, like, the Seraphon having 2 books for 3rd edition, right? I think that's right. Second book, techless book. 5, book that combines second book. Oh, I see. I see. Oh, okay, yeah. That's what I thought. So there's only, like, 5 books, right? Only 5 LRL books in, like, 18 months. That's fine. That's acceptable. I see what you're saying. You bought them all. Wow. Good on you. Yeah, I've got all the Skaven stuff except for the old heraldry book. But, yeah. Well, anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this fun little, rules preview thing that we got. We want to talk about it. There will be more stuff to talk about next Tuesday, which is probably what we'll do when they do the reveals and stuff like that. So we'll probably talk about that and maybe points updates and battle scroll updates, assuming that they come. I would expect them to come on Monday, but who knows? Yeah. Broken Realms released the updated models. Then they released the new book with all the models. For sure. Exactly. That makes sense. I only got them all. Or actually, no, I think... Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's true. Thank you. Thanks for hanging out, guys. It was a pleasure as always, Carson. We will see you guys next week with hopefully a lot of fun stuff to talk about. But, yeah. We'll see you guys next week. Say goodbye, Carson.
Bye, Carson.